the auto industry and broader economy in his bloodbath remarks.
Bloodbath, suggesting that Trump was predicting violence.
Saying that there would be a bloodbath.
And the bloodbath that their industry would face.
The bloodbath comment was just about the auto industry.
Former President Donald Trump still facing criticism for those controversial comments he made at a campaign rally over the weekend.
And you think you're going to get that? You're going to not hire Americans and you're going to sell the cars to us? No, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
Could a single decision trigger a bloodbath in the auto industry? Donald Trump just gave a bold warning that's sending shockwaves through the auto industry world and beyond. A warning that could reshape the future of how we buy, sell, and drive our cars. Stay tuned as we break down what this means, who's involved, and how it could affect you. In a speech, Trump said if he becomes president again, he'll make a rule. This rule will make people pay a 100% tax on every car that comes into the United States from another country. He said this would make it really hard for people to sell foreign cars here. But if he doesn't win the election, he thinks there'll be big problems for the auto industry and the country. He called this a bloodbath. After Trump said this, a lot of people from the other political team, the Democrats, were worried. This includes Joe Biden, who's the president now and wants to be president again. Biden said on a social media platform, X, it used to be called Twitter, that Trump's ideas could lead to bad things, like what happened on January 6, 2021. That was a day when some people who liked Trump a lot went into a big government building without permission because they were upset about the election results. Biden thinks that people won't vote for Trump because of what he says and does. Trump wants to make it very expensive to bring cars from other countries to sell in the United States. He thinks this will help America's car business. But if he doesn't win the election, he says things will go really bad for the auto industry. Other people, like Biden, think Trump's ideas are dangerous and remind them of bad things that happened before. They don't agree with him. Not surprisingly, this comment didn't sit well with the Biden camp. The response was swift and sharp. Biden's team called Trump a loser from the previous election and criticized him for doubling down on what they see as threats of political violence instead of trying to win over more voters. They believe that Americans will once again reject Trump's approach, which they describe as extreme and driven by a love for violence. Trump, however, didn't take these comments lying down. He quickly took to social media to defend his use of the word bloodbath, stating that his words were taken out of context. According to Trump, he was merely highlighting the negative impact of car imports under Biden's administration on the American automobile industry, not advocating for violence. This defense sparked further debate, with Trump's campaign even accusing the Biden team of deceptive editing practices. Amidst this war of words, Trump didn't shy away from making more controversial statements. He expressed severe views on undocumented immigrants and reiterated his support for those arrested following the January 6 Capitol riot, suggesting that the upcoming election is crucial for the country's future. The Republicans, for the most part, stood by Trump. They said he was just talking about the tough times the auto workers are facing. Senator Mike Rounds from South Dakota mentioned on TV that Trump was trying to show the auto workers the real picture of their economic struggles. Even when pushed for more, Rounds said he speaks differently than Trump, but believes in taking steps that would help the economy grow without causing trouble elsewhere. But how did the auto industry and political figures respond to such a bold proposition? Are we on the verge of a significant political and economic confrontation? Let's find out next. However, not everyone sees it the same way. Senator Bill Cassidy from Louisiana pointed out that Trump's way of speaking makes people wonder if he should be president again. Cassidy mentioned on a show that Trump's words often dance on the line of being too much, and the way the media reports it sometimes doesn't help. On the other side, Democrats are taking Trump's words very seriously. Senator Raphael Warnock said on a news show that Trump has shown his true colors many times, and we should believe him. Nancy Pelosi, a big name in the Democratic Party, expressed concern on another show, asking what Trump means by a bloodbath, and hinting that something doesn't seem right. To add to the mix, Biden's campaign is using Trump's words against him. They released a video that links Trump's bloodbath comment with his past remarks that stirred controversy. This includes his words about a white supremacist rally and his message to the Proud Boys during a debate. The video ends with Trump saying he'd pardon people involved in the January 6th incident and dodging a question about stopping further violence from his supporters. Up next, we'll uncover the current situation of the auto industry amid these political squabbles. How is it bracing to navigate through these stormy seas? The global auto industry is a key player in the world's economy, adding about 3% to the global GDP. It's been through a lot, especially with the big hit it took during the pandemic. Yet in recent times, it made a comeback with a huge number of vehicles rolling out, signaling that cars are still very much in demand. However, this industry is facing some tough challenges. Prices of cars are sky high now, more than ever. This is mainly due to a crunch in auto chips, which are important for making cars, and a scarcity of raw materials needed to build them. This situation is causing delays in car production all around the world. On top of that, there's a growing concern over the pollution caused by cars, pushing the industry to think hard about how to make cars better and more affordable. One big change shaking up the car world is the move towards electric vehicles, EVs. These cars are friendlier to the environment and can be cheaper to run, which is why many big car makers are jumping on the EV bandwagon. The market for EVs is expected to grow significantly, showing just how important they've become. Cars like the Tesla Model Y have become super popular, and companies all over the world are investing heavily in EVs, looking to launch new models and expand production. This includes big plans from companies like Renault and Nissan in India, Tesla in the US and UK, and Ford in the UK, all betting big on electric cars. Then there's the exciting world of autonomous cars, cars that drive themselves. This era is getting a lot of attention and investment, with companies like Microsoft and Suzuki getting involved. The idea is to make driving safer and more efficient, but there's still hurdles, especially concerning safety on the roads. However, it's not all smooth driving for the auto industry. The global political and economic landscape is causing some bumps. For instance, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has made it harder to get certain materials, pushing up costs. There's also concern that economic troubles like recessions could lower people's desire to buy new cars, especially in places like the UK. With the industry facing unparalleled challenges, what does the future hold? Coming up next, we'll see the innovative strategies and new technologies that can pave the way for a more resilient and successful future. In this tricky situation, when people like Trump warn about big troubles in the market, it adds more problems for the car industry. These warnings could be about bigger issues with the economy that might make people worried about spending money. This could lead to fewer people buying cars. So, the car industry has a lot to deal with right now. They're trying to figure out how to handle delays in getting parts they need, moving towards making electric and self-driving cars, and dealing with lots of competition. At the same time, they need to pay attention to what's happening in the world economy, all while being mindful of global economic signals and political warnings. If Trump's warning about a bloodbath in the market comes true, the auto industry could face immediate challenges. In the short term, car companies might see a drop in sales as people become more cautious with their spending and worried about the economy. This could lead to a buildup of unsold cars and force companies to cut prices, reducing their profits. Also, with money being tight, projects to develop new technologies like electric and self-driving cars might slow down because they require a lot of investment. In the long term, if the economy struggles, it could have a big impact on the auto industry, the broader economy, and jobs. Fewer car sales over a long period can lead to layoffs in the industry, affecting not just car makers, but also the many other businesses that supply parts and services. This could also slow down progress toward cleaner and more advanced cars, which could hurt efforts to fight climate change. So, the auto industry, along with governments and some really smart economic experts, are all looking at this situation from different angles. Car companies, they're scrambling to figure out how to save money and keep selling cars. They're thinking about exploring new places where people might want to buy their cars. Now, what about the government? They're considering stepping in to give the industry a bit of a boost. We're talking about things like tax breaks or even some cash support, especially for the electric car scene. The idea here is to keep jobs safe and support a shift to cleaner, greener cars. Economic experts are throwing in their 2 cents as well. They're all about embracing the new, investing in the latest technologies and getting into markets that are just starting to grow. That's their advice to dodge any long-term issues. But the big shots in the industry are looking to shake things up with some policy changes. They're thinking of lower taxes, fewer rules, and anything to make doing business a bit easier and keep the industry on its feet. The future's looking pretty uncertain, and it could go a few ways. If the auto industry and governments get their act together fast, we could see the industry come out even stronger. Imagine focusing more on being eco-friendly and innovative. That's one possibility. But if they ignore the signs and warnings, it's not going to be pretty. Think slower growth and not as many jobs. And then there's the whole thing with Trump's warning. It's a big deal and puts the spotlight on the industry's challenges. But it's also a chance for a major makeover. It's about looking forward, getting creative with new technologies and strategies to make sure the auto industry doesn't just survive, but thrives in the long run. So, what do you think? Is the auto industry ready to hit the accelerator on change, or is it in for a bumpy ride? If you like this video, watch this next one. Porsche shocks EV world. E-Fuel's dramatic entry.